Hey there, this is Matt once again, and I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about these, but I figured before I get into the actual Star Trek films, why not talk about these two documentaries that I recently rewatched. Trekkies and, show the back there, and Trekkies 2. No, this is not fucking Baby Geniuses. These are documentaries on the Star Trek fandom, and I think they're entertaining, they're funny, and they don't make fun of the fan. They're not mean-spirited at all, quite the opposite. It just shows quite a bit of the fandom, especially the more out there fans, but at the same time it's done with sweetness and not with, again, it's not mean-spirited at all, which one of the reasons I really liked about it. But again, it's also pretty entertaining. They're both directed by this guy named Roger Nygaard and Denise Crosby, who was Tasha Yar in Star Trek The Next Generation. She was in movies like Pet Sematary. Not only did she produce these, but she is the host and interviews people. There's a lot of times she talks one-on-one with people, and I thought that was really cool. She's in these quite a bit, talking with these fans, visiting these places. I like Denise Crosby, so that's another really cool thing. Now we get to the first one, which was around 1997, although this DVD says 1999. It says on the, well, you can't see it, but on the back, on the bottom here, it says 99. Yeah, you're not going to be able to see that. It'd be fuzzy. What's cool about this first one, you have interviews with Leonard Nimoy, James Doohan, who played Scotty, Walter Koenig, George Takei, Nichelle Nichols, John Delancey, who played Q on The Next Generation, LeVar Burton, Kate Mulgrew, who starred in Star Trek Voyager. But also, you talked with a lot of fans. For example, this one guy here on the far right, well, on the far right of this disc, Gabriel Kerner, I believe is his name. And this one, he's got a mullet, and he's about like 14 or so years old. He's trying to be very particular with his words. Oh, this is the worst time you could have called. And he's very particular and seems, I don't want to know, uh, uncomfortable might not be the right word, but unsure on camera. And then he comes back for the sequel, and he's much more relaxed. He's married. He actually works in special effects nowadays. I believe he worked on effects teams for The Day After Tomorrow. And right now, this guy, who after this first movie, he got on the Drew Terry show. Drew Terry liked him. And I guess Drew Terry's also a Star Trek fan and saw a lot of himself in Gabriel Kerner. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. And then by the second film, which was, this is 2004, he was doing fan films and he worked on the effects, and even the effects in the movie, scene transitions, the opening, and the DVD menus, he worked on. And nowadays, apparently he works on the TV show The Orville, the effects. So it's cool how it kind of went in a full circle, because most people would say, I haven't watched the show, but most people say The Orville is more Star Trek than Star Trek Discovery, which makes more sense because Star Trek Discovery is called STD, for fuck's sake. STD. That's how much thinking those people put into it. So I think that's really cool. But in the first one, he's talking about how he's got the Star Trek First Contact uniform. He has his dad, who's very, very cool dad. He supports his son. I like the bit in the second one where his dad's still supporting his son, helps build the set for his the fan film. It's like, man, $200. It could have been, beer money. Gas money. And you spend a lot with him. You also take a peek in Arkansas with this lady here, Barbara Adams, who she became a little bit famous because she went to a jury. I think it was a Whitewater trial, and she was in her Star Trek uniform, and she explains why she did that. And everything amongst that. Tells quite a bit of conventions, what happens at conventions. There's auctions at conventions, there's drawings at conventions, a little bit of charity work, which they explore more in the sequel, that a lot of these people are just good people that want to escape reality for a bit, and they, at times do charity work, which is very cool, which I really respect. And in the first Trekkies, you get some fun conversations and some sweet conversations with the actors. For example, Nichelle Nichols, who played Uhura, she talks about how she met this person, and this person saw her on TV when she was a kid, and this kid ran around and said, "Mommy, mommy, there's a black woman on TV, and she ain't no maid." And that girl grew up to be Whoopi Goldberg. James Doohan tells this very, very sweet story, which is one thing I don't like about the trailer for this, because the way they edited the trailer for Trekkies, they made it seem like James Doohan has tears in his eyes. It's the best thing I've ever done, and the way they edited it in the trailer, if you see it online, is that it's for Star Trek. It's the best thing I ever did ever, which whoever made that trailer, fuck off at that point. Because in the documentary, he's not talking about, he's proud of Star Trek, but when he has tears in his eyes, he's talking about how he got this note from this lady who was talking about suicide. And James Doohan said, "Hey, I'm doing this convention. I want you to come to this convention. I want to talk to you. I want to see you." Did. He said positive things to her. 2 weeks later, "I'm doing this other convention. I want to see you there." And this went on for weeks or months, actually, months. And he's like, she could afford to go all these places. Guess she was just going to the wrong people. This kept going on, and then the lady disappeared. And I think he said about 8 years later, he got a letter from this lady saying, "I want to thank you for all you did for me. I have just gotten my degree in engineering." And James Doohan's tearing up, and it's sad because James Doohan no longer with us. I mean, Leonard Nimoy, James Doohan, also DeForest Kelley. He's interviewed in this, and it's sad to see, these guys are no longer with us. Some of them. I thought that was really sweet. That was a really cool story. But you also get a lot of fun stuff. You get this one guy who dresses up and goes to the supermarket in sort of the red Admiral, sort of this thing here. He'll go to the supermarket. He don't care. You have this one dental office in Florida, which is a really cool dentist office. I mean, no one likes the dentist, but if you went to Starbase Dental, it's a really cool dentist place. So both futuristic, Star Trek stuff all over the place. They make the workers wear Star Trek uniforms. They interview one lady who is a big Brent Spiner fan, who is Data from Next Generation, and she calls herself Spiner Films. They're Spiner Films. And it's cool, they actually interview Brent Spiner. It's like, Spiner Films, I like that, Spiner Films. And you get fun stuff like Klingons, people dressed as Klingons going to a fast food place and ordering burgers. I think it was a Hardee's, or maybe if it's not a Hardee's, it's something like that. Arby's? No, maybe not Arby's. I'm not sure what. It was a burger place. You get more fun stories like DeForest Kelley talks about, who played McCoy, talks about, I got this one picture of a beautiful lady, and she sent me a joint. And she's like, "You turned me on so many times, I thought I should return the favor." It's like, so I kept that one. You have this one fan who's a kid who dressed up as Cat. And then she comes back in the sequel and tells a funny story about how, I mean, he had one of these toy Klingon swords in the back of his car, and one day he comes out to his car and cops are there. And cops are holding this thing like, what's this? It's like, well, it's a toy Klingon, sword. It's for my cat. And he's like, he just gave me the strangest look you'd ever seen. So I mean, he seemed like a very nice guy. And this one's centered more on the United States, while this one, they go back to some of the people in the first film, which I liked, but they go more worldwide. They go to Germany, England, Italy, Brazil, France, Australia, and even Serbia. And I definitely recommend these for anyone. Even if you're not into Star Trek, like for me, I like the Star Trek films and I like the original series, but like that's really all I own, and that's how far I guess I go into liking them. This is still really interesting. I keep mentioning this. I think it's pretty funny and it's touching at times, and it's just interesting. It's just very interesting stuff. And Trekkies 2, and when they go to Germany, and there's this guy who's a spitting image of Leonard Nimoy, just spitting image of Spock. And they do these fan films. And this one talks a little bit more about fan films, which I know there's an interview with Denise Crosby from last year where someone asked her and she's interested in doing a Trekkies 3, maybe going to Asia, because they didn't go to Asia, and also maybe talking about how things have changed, because these are before the J.J. Abrams stuff. And she would like to talk about how things have changed since then, and maybe go back to some of the people in these two. I would love to see that. I don't know if that will ever happen, but I would love to see it. I would love that. I would look more forward to that than a Star Trek movie, sadly. But like and my friend Michael Keaton, if somehow he can contact Denise Crosby, I have no idea. I don't know her Facebook. I don't know her email. If somehow my friend Michael Keaton fantastic to contact Denise Crosby, maybe he could be in Trekkies 3 because he's made fan films in Oklahoma. That'd be really cool for him to be in Trekkies 3. I think that'd be fantastic. That'd be amazing. But we go to Germany, we go to England, where this guy has this apartment that he's made into literally a Star Trek. Imagine, I mean, just lights and the dashboards, and like he has these dashboards. But it is like a dashboard. He made one in the middle of the room, and everything looks like the Next Generation. It's got all these lights, and you even have some type of theme from Star Trek 5. It's better to see it than me explain it, but he just made this futuristic Star Trek room, and like he's selling it for like $2 million. He's never gonna get it because if you want to live there, it's even shit because you can't fucking sleep anywhere, and I don't even know if there was a TV in there. I don't know, it looks cool, but it's not. I doubt to this day he ever sold that, but it was really cool to look at. They go to Italy, where they talk about how a big part of it is the food. We look back on the kid who had the cat, and he's a bit grown up. Because, again, this was 97 or 99. This is 2004, so it's some years later. We go to Brazil. We go, again, Gabriel Kerner. This guy, he's a bit more relaxed. He's married. He works on, he does effects. Like I said, his dad's pretty cool. They go to France. This fan film that's being made in Minnesota. They talk with these guys. Australia. They talk about science fiction folk singing. Which in the first one, it was like this cross-dressing guy. That's who it was. It was a cross-dressing guy, and he first brought up filk, which is science fiction folk singing. And they explore that more. They don't have that guy back, but they explore more with other people. Oh, another thing, this film sadly introduced me to the concept of Slash, because I didn't know what the hell that was. I'm like, what's Slash? Kurt slash Spock. And I remember back in the day, I'm like, oh shit. Ladies who like to write stories of certain erotica. Well, now I know that. Just like the guy who's like, Look up this thing. What is it? It's called turtle cest. What's that? Don't look up turtle cest. Believe me, you will regret it. Do not look it up. I made that mistake. Do not look up turtle cest. Just please do not. Again, you will regret it. But so that's one thing. But hey, different strokes, different folks. If you're into that, cool. I'm not saying that for PC reasons. I really do mean that. We all have our stuff we like, I guess. We get back to Trekkies 2, and one interesting thing is that I believe in Sacramento, there's like 5 Star Trek bands. There's like one called Warp 11, one called No Kill Eye, but for the original series, a No Kill Eye for Next Generation, a No Kill Eye for Deep Space Nine, and then like a Klingon band. It's like all like just in Sacramento, California, 5 Star Trek bands. And that's where this one guy said this line, which I really loved, where he said, "When reality stops being lame, we'll stop doing this," which I loved. And then I kind of took that a little bit further and said, when reality stops sucking, I'll stop living in fantasy. Because people say, stop living in a fantasy world. Well, when reality stops sucking, then I'll stop living in fantasy. But that was inspired by a line dialogue in this. And what's cool, sadly, the first one doesn't have features, but the second one does have about an hour-long total of deleted scenes. You have also a commentary where the director, as well as Denise Crosby, they talk about the making of it, which I thought was really cool. And one thing that I found interesting is, for example, I guess when you're in Serbia and so forth, you can't really leave the place unless you get a visa. It's very hard to get a visa. Oh, it just makes me feel bad for people in there that if they do want to get out, they almost impossible. That was on the documentary. That wasn't. I mean, that was on the commentary, not on the documentary. But little interesting factoids of that. But also, it was fun them talking about their experience meeting all these people. And this one, there are cast members interviewed, but it's more, I would say, more for maybe Deep Space Nine or Enterprise, a little bit of Enterprise. No Scott Bakula, sadly. No, I forgot his name. The star of Deep Space Nine. Fuck. Can't believe I forgot his name. Played Cisco. I can't remember. But that's going to bug the fuck out of me. I'll just type it up. I got a computer here. Cisco. But I think they interviewed the guy who played his son. They interviewed some of the supporting actors, and they talk about it. Avery Brooks. I knew it was Avery. Avery Brooks. Yeah, they're not interviewed, but other people are. Which it was cool because it's like, okay, let's get the people we didn't get in the first film. So they got people they didn't get in the second film. That'd be cool. I would love to see a Trekkies 3. I would. I think it'd be very entertaining. And maybe make a box set. Trekkies 1, 2, and 3 and a Blu-ray set. That'll never happen because it's Paramount. Pair of pricks, they're cheap as shit with their stuff. I mean, Paramount might be the worst company for Blu-rays. I'd probably say they would be the worst. The reason I say that is, hell, The Golden Child, that film is not on Blu-ray. The Hunted with Tom Lee Jones, that's a newer film. That's not on Blu-ray. Neither is, like, Private Parts with Howard Stern, or... Did they do Murder at 1600? Wesley Snipes? They might not have. I think they did Metro with Eddie Murphy. No, that was a different company. Well, those aren't on Blu-ray either. So, because I was looking at for maybe another video one day, what films are not on Blu-ray. I know Paramount fucking they're shitty when it comes to that. They really are. Let alone giving films fucking special editions. Oh, the original April Fool's Day, they released that. They didn't. They don't have a Blu-ray of that. Now I'm getting on other topics. I'll stop. But did better on Star Trek. I would love for them to release the special longer version, the one that a lot of us, including me, saw on VHS. Love that they did a Blu-ray. But even that director's cut doesn't have a Blu-ray. If you get the Blu-ray, it's only the theatrical cut of Star Trek the Motion Picture. Not even the director's cut. I wish they would do, like, I mean, I like Blade Runner, but I would like to see Star Trek the Motion Picture, considering there's literally 3 cuts of the film. I would love to see that get that treatment. It never will. Why didn't they do that with the 50th anniversary of Star Trek? You would think it's the first Star Trek movie. Release a Blu-ray set with all 3 of those versions. And interview the cast that are still with us. But hey, instead they give us Star Trek Beyond. But anyway, these are a lot of fun. Very entertaining. I hope there's a Trekkies 3. But it's Paramount, so they fucked up Ninja Turtles, they fucked up Transformers, fucking up Star Trek. Like, Parapricks, what are you, the new 20th Century Fox now? 20th Century Fuckface? I mean, 20th Century Fuckface have fucked up quite a few times, but Parapricks, you're taking the cake nowadays. Anyway, thanks for watching, take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.